always wondering about curiosity, so I had to talk with George Kourounis. He is a world explorer. He jumps into volcanoes and chases tornadoes, and a whole lot more.
That little grain of curiosity has led me on a path that has taken me all over the world. Tornado! Okay, we have made it to the bottom. Now I'm gonna walk over.
What exactly does it mean to be curious?
Well, that's a great question. Curiosity is really all about the desire to want to learn more. So if you've got a subject, maybe it's, sharks or dinosaurs or music, these are different subjects that people get curious about, and it's the idea of wanting to discover more, to learn more. And the more you learn about something, I find, at least in my experience, the more I learn, the more I want to learn.
What are the most important things to be curious about, or what not to be curious about?
Well, I would say the best things to be curious about are the things that are going to make your life better or other people's lives better, right? Now, let's say it's you, subjects that maybe you want to learn more about so that maybe you can figure out what you want to do as a career. You might be curious about all kinds of different fields. You might be curious about science, or you might be curious about economics, or literally the sky is the limit, anything, about being a pilot, whatever, right? So by learning about these things, you can pick and choose.
Are there things that we really shouldn't be curious about, like that we shouldn't ever want to know?
Well, there's the old saying, curiosity killed the cat. Have you heard that saying before?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an old phrase where if maybe you stick your nose where it doesn't belong, you might get into trouble. Or if you do something that is foolhardy because you're curious about it, you may end up suffering some kind of consequence. Like if you're curious about climbing a really tall tree, for example.
Don't climb trees, people.
Climbing trees is okay. There's nothing wrong with climbing trees, and I climbed a lot of trees when I was a kid. Actually, I still climb trees. But if the tree is too tall or you don't know what you're doing, you can get into trouble. So there's always going to be some kind of a balance between being interested in something and then maybe it's not so good for you. For me, my extreme curiosity for these natural disasters and these natural phenomena have driven me to go and do this. But at the same time, I wanted to do it in a really safe way.
How does being curious help us? Help us do something or make something or say something?
Curiosity is something that we have as humans. We're especially kids. Kids are so curious about stuff. And it's that curiosity that is the driving force behind almost all learning. So when I was in school, I learned all kinds of different subjects. I learned English, I learned math, I learned history. That's fine, I studied those, but I was really curious about geography. So the curiosity for that particular subject really helped me focus my attention. And that's what it can do for anybody.
What keeps us from being curious sometimes?
Ooh, that's an easy one. Fear. Think of a scale. And on one side, you have curiosity, and the other side, you have fear. So if you're afraid of something, are you going to go running towards it?
Probably not.
Probably not. Curiosity will help you overcome that fear. The more you learn about something, the less afraid of it you'll be.
Was there ever a time when you were way too curious, you immediately regretted it once you did it?
Yeah, I've had experiences like that. I've had quite a few what I'll call close calls. Things like when I'm chasing tornadoes.
We gotta let it go, guys. Back up. Turn into the wind, let it go. Oh, boy.
So for me, the trick is to manage that fear versus curiosity. A lot of the things that I explore, these big storms and volcanoes, they are scary. And they should be, for a reason. They can do serious harm. So for me, I always want to get as close as I can, as safely as I can, but there isn't always like a line that says, here you're safe, and there it's dangerous.
How do you make people curious? How do you spark curiosity?
Right. Well, we're all born very curious. I think we're all born explorers, I think. When we're young, we want to explore our environment. If you ask anyone who has a toddler, they'll tell you that all kids are born explorers, for good or bad, whatever that is. And I think that we lose some of that a little bit as we get older. So to spark someone's curiosity, I think sometimes the best way to do it is just ask them a lot of questions.
What do you want to inspire people to do? You've climbed into volcanoes, climbed glaciers.
Yep.
But what do you want to inspire people to do?
So what I want people to do is to maybe, number one, get out more, but also do some things that scare you a little bit, right? Something that you might be curious about, but maybe a little bit afraid of.
The bottom of Maroon Volcano is one of the most spectacular places in the world.
It's like the running of the bulls.
All right, do this, like you're scratching your chin, going,
If you've been wondering too, subscribe for more big questions.